Let's let him redeem himself with his third and final pick here in the Titans pressure draft. JT, who's your last pick for the person in the Titans organization under the most pressure in 2024?
My third and final pick, I'm going to go with the main lady herself. Amy Adams Strunk, I think, is under the most
your best
pressure
pick by far. Best pick.
Because of the way this kind of Houston Tennessee Titans rivalry has kind of built itself up.
That's the angle you're going with?
Is
the petty off-field rivalry?
Not
where I was going with this.
I think, well, that's just one of the parts. I think that's where it started and why she is now under the most pressure. You see last year with the uniform debacle, maybe a definite reason of why Mike Vrabel finally kind of soured in her mind last year after the Houston game. I think that is a really big thing here. Now she realizes, and we all realize, that these things matter a lot to her. You kind of look at what the Titans are doing, or the Texans are now doing with their new uniforms, making those kind of off-brand
the Columbia Coke Blues.
Yes, the Coke Blues, as you call them. Those are something that and the comments that the Houston Texans ownership has made have now kind of reignited this rivalry between these two fan bases that may have not been as strong in years past there. You look at that, as well as a new stadium on the way where things are not going to be great around the stadium. for the
checkmate from Sony here. No one can fire Amy Adams Strunk. You're wrong.
True, but people can stop watching, I think, is the main point there. That, with a new stadium on the way and with the parking situation next year, if this team doesn't put an entertaining product out on the field, I think that's going to show in her decision making. We've seen kind of the at sometimes backwards way of making her decisions. So I think there's a lot of pressure for Amy Adams Strunk, who has kind of gotten to a point now where, you look at the John Robinson firing, you look at the Mike Vrabel firing, and it's been in a very weird way. Now she has kind of put this on a direction that she wants. Let's see how she reacts to this when it doesn't go so well. Or if it does. Like, she has a lot of pressure on her because she has now made a bunch of decisions with putting Rand Carthon in that seat. And now it is time to see how those will pay off.
Okay, this is your best pick, and at first I was disappointed because there's a real argument here to be made, and you weren't making it. But then you finally got to it at the end, and I hadn't considered the Houston angle. I think you got something there, but I think you buried the lead on what I'm going to kind of elaborate here and mostly agree with you on. The way that she has been a decision maker for this team from the very top, being aggressive and forward thinking, generally speaking, is fantastic in the NFL in terms of ownership. It looks great on paper until you start going in the wrong direction, right? And so you look back on what she's done recently, the big moves. Okay, you move on from Mike Mularkey in 2017, despite making the playoffs that year, was a bold move at the time, but you hire Vrabel, proven to be a wise decision at the time. Mularkey's ceiling was he kind of reached that ceiling, he'd capped out. It was time to move up in the world with Mike Vrabel, and you did that. Then you move on from John Robinson in the middle of the season in 2022. It was a bold, aggressive move at the time. Hired Rand Carthon, who is yet to truly prove himself as the right move. So all indicators so far are that he's certainly an upgrade over what John Robinson was doing there at the end of his tenure, but proven to be a great GM. Not quite. There's no way for him to have so far. You need time for that. All of these kinds of moves she's made, they were anticipatory, right? They were anticipating a ceiling of a guy, a ceiling for the franchise, and trying to upgrade, not accepting mediocrity. And again, on paper, that aggressive forward-thinking attitude is fantastic. But when you make one misstep, like it is a risky, high risk, high reward situation when you're operating like that, because one misstep, man, and people they'll stop trusting your decision making. If it's proven that she botched this head coaching hire with Brian Callahan, and it's not working. He's fired within 2 years. The next guy that we bring in for, the Tennessee Titans, do you think she's going to be at that podium and folks are going to look at her with no skepticism? Right? If Rand Carthon proves to be a complete and utter bust, no better than John Robinson, time proves it that way. Again, I don't think he's going to be, but if that's the case, the pressure is going to be on her big time, and folks are going to question her. They may not question her dedication to the team, and it's not going to be like a David Tepper situation in Carolina where you're just hated by the fans for non-football reasons. But people are going to question her ability to make football decisions. And as soon as she loses that validity as the controlling owner of the team, that's a big deal. And so she's under a lot of pressure to keep that. And I think she's put herself under that pressure by making these aggressive decisions. I agree with being aggressive here, but again, you're all in at the poker table, and you better not be bluffing is all I'm saying.
I think that's a great way to put it at the end there. You know, you make it's kind of like those home poker games where it's like, I'm going all in. I'm going all in, you know.
You're
And
only
making
20
these
down, so it's
unwise,
like not the end of the
yeah,
world if you get
you know,
screwed.
it's
Yeah.
the unwise, and maybe that's why, you know, who's going to fire Amy Adams Strunk, right? Who's going to, you know, what's going to happen there? You know, why can't I
Right.
just keep doing that? But the way that the decision making has gone has led to now something that could possibly be a better future and outcome for this Tennessee Titans team, which means it better work this time.